Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens, onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, I'm going to talk to you today about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, aka maybe the best Spider-Man film ever made. It might be in the top 3, and considering the fact that this dude has had 10 films over the last 21 years, that's saying something. So the synopsis. After reuniting with Gwen, Brooklyn's full-time Spider-Man, Miles Morales, encounters a new threat. He realizes the existence of the multiverse, finds all these other Spider people, but there is conflict. How do you deal with a new threat? AKA Spot, the most unlikely bad guy you've ever seen. But dealing with this will challenge Miles in ways he could have never imagined, including him trying to save the people he loves the most. And this synopsis is so bare bones, it's not even funny. This movie is thick with lore. To quote Film Theory, lore! If you haven't seen Film Theory, watch it. It's great. But that said, I don't know where to start praising this film. I'll start with the art style. It looks beautiful. Genuinely, it looks like an art student's wet dream, but like every single frame. They use so many different art styles to convey what's going on. Different parts have different visuals, and it works. And it seems like every Spider-Man has their own distinct art style, even down to Gwen Stacy, who has a lot of pastel colors and like paintbrush style art at her part in the very beginning. And I'm gonna do my best to not give spoilers, but overall the film is just beautifully animated, and you can tell they have different artists working on this. This was a thing of love. No wonder it took 5 years. Every damn frame probably took like 10 go-overs just to get it right, and then the next frame. So artistically, looks beautiful. Story-wise, incredible. There's so much that's going on here, from the rules of the multiverse being explained, and the thing is, it's very open but also very clear, whereas the rules for the MCU are very vague and you're not exactly sure what's going on, who's the authority, and why. In this film, it's very clear what they're doing, what they're trying to do, and what they're trying to accomplish. And you get a lot of crazy cameos. You get, and again, this is not a spoiler, but you see footage of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. We don't see Tom Holland, which I think there's a reason for that. We even see Mrs. Chen from the Venom symbiote universe and stuff, and that's fun too. But the story is rich, but also it confronts Miles. Bear in mind, they do character build everyone, but I want to hark on Miles for a second. They present him with the hero's choice. So the best Spider-Man film, maybe the best Spider-Man film, is Spider-Man 2, the original one with Tobey Maguire, the one with Doc Ock in it, because he makes the hero's choice. In that film, he decides he'd rather be Spider-Man in spite of the easy life he could live. He lives the good life for a bit. He's able to talk to Mary Jane. He's able to go to plays. He's able to go to class. He's able to have a normal job. See people that he loves, because he's not Spider-Man anymore. But he actively chooses the harder thing rather than picking the easy life, which, I'll be honest with you, I think most people would have picked. So that said, Miles is confronted with that same thing. He's dealing with family responsibilities coming on him, school being more difficult. He's doing pretty good overall, I'd argue, but it's starting to wear on you. And after, 14 months, it makes sense. It will wear on you. Now, that said, Miles, Gwen Stacy might actually have more character development than Miles. She's put in a tough spot being his friend, but also where's her allegiance lie? Is it with the Spider-Verse people, or is it with Miles Morales? And that gets interesting real fast. And she's jumping universes, Miles follows her, and they go on this huge adventure where we meet Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man the Future, who is like a spider vampire kind of thing. He's all over the fucking wall, but he's pretty cool, although Terry McGinnis did beat him in a fight a la Death Battle. Watch that if you feel like it. But yeah, Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, he's like co-villain with the Spot. I'll get to the Spot in a sec. He's like co-villaining, but he's great. Like, Miguel O'Hara, he's, I think, a utilitarian. I think that's the right phrase. The good of the many the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. In that same sense, he says, he kind of has the mentality of, look, if certain people have to die to preserve the universe, then they have to die, which, I mean, even Peter B. Parker, the one who has a kid, the one from the original, Chema's avatar, even says Ben's death did create all this kid. Like, it's not nice, but we'd be lying if we didn't say it matters. And in there lies the tough part, where Miles' best friends, the people he trusts the most, the people who really understand more than anyone else what he's going through, tell him maybe you need to let it go. The same people who he wants to join so badly, the same people that he's running away from because he feels like they're wrong. And there's a great parallel between that aspect and what the conversation he has earlier with his mom, where his mom says, promise me you won't lose yourself. Promise me you'll come home. But also, like, walk into those rooms with people who look at you and think that you're not good enough to be there, and prove yourself and go beyond them. And it's great parallels because he's also trying to go to college. I think this film will speak to a lot of kids who are going through it, who are either at that phase of their life where they're in high school, going to college, or in college, going into the real world. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing. The writing in this film is incredible. Also, Spot is a shockingly great villain. The Spot, which I did not predict at all. I thought he was going to be the B-list villain that he beats at the very beginning of the film, but no, Spot is actually a legit villain who has never been considered among the greats of Spider-Man's rogues gallery, but I think in this case, he is amazing. And it's great because the director of this film actually had to fight to have Spot in the film and be the main protagonist. Sorry, the main antagonist. And props to you, man. You won that argument, and you're right. That said, the Spot's great. Also, I think the next great villain should probably be Stiltzman. I want to see that fight. That'll be fun. But yeah, this film, I mean, the only cons that I can think of is the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger. Again, no, not trying to spoil or anything, but it ends on a cliffhanger, and I understand if you feel mad because they built up such a great story. There's so much suspense going on. You want to know what's the next part, what's the next step. And we don't find out because we're going to find out next year in Beyond the Spider-Verse. But as a standalone film, it's great. It succeeded where Fast X failed, which, to be fair, Fast X failed in a lot of ways. But the fact is they both ended in cliffhangers, but one gave you a satisfying story, the other one wasted your time. Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse is awesome. I give it an A. It might be film of the year, possibly. It's not just a great animated film, it is a great movie in general, and that's genuinely the highest compliment I can give. That said, what do y'all think? Go ahead and comment down below. Do us a favor, like and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. Always, we're trying to grow the channel. And yeah, catch y'all later. See everyone.